You covered most of the part. I hope the presentation slides are visible for you in presentation mode, just to confirm before we start. Okay, so thank you everyone. Good morning, good afternoon from Abu Dhabi Ports Group, based on where you are. Today we are going to present about the Innovators of the Future program. As Mizan already introduced you, my name is Omar and my colleague over here is Lulwa. And let's talk about the CSR program that the Innovation Division has been holding on an annual basis since 2021. So before we started, I'll just give a quick glimpse about our company. So our company is having 5 integrated clusters, or maybe you'd like to call them business units, that cover the full supply chain from the A to Z. So let's go from right to left. We are having the ports cluster, which is how the company actually started back in 2006. And we are right now operating more than 10 ports, along with other ports worldwide. Also, we offer marine services along with more than 100 feeders to serve the region around us. We are also having our logistics arm. And just recently, we actually acquired Maritime, who is a Spanish logistic giant operating in more than 20 countries worldwide. Adding to this, we are having the economic cities and free zones covering more than 400 kilometer squares. This makes us the second biggest landowner after Abu Dhabi government in the region. Last but not the least, we are having the digital cluster, which supports all 4 other clusters in their digital services, but they also have their own revenue streams. So with that, let us go back in time in 2022. It's not moving. Okay, yeah, so let's go back in time in 2022 when COVID-19 just rampaged all over the world. People were panicking. We didn't know what to do. Most of the people didn't know what to do. Everyone was locked down in their homes. The restrictions were so tight, but we had to do it. Our lives were threatened. It was a very difficult situation for everyone, but I believe that it was mostly difficult for the children. Typically in the summer, the children just enjoy it. They have 3 months of vacation, running from one place to another, having activities. They are just enjoying their life out there. However, in 2022, summer became a jail for the students. They don't have anything to do. They don't have school to prepare for and attend to spend the time. They're sitting in the home, maybe 5 or 6 sitting in the same home because no one is going to their work. Everyone is working maybe from their home. It was so sophisticating for them. The Innovation Division wanted to help by some means. The resources were very limited. We couldn't do much. But what we did actually, we tried to support at least our employee children. We shared some kits. These kits were having some small tools, small motors, small equipments, such that the children can work on a small project in their home, take a video of it and send it to us. This was sort of a small competition that was held in 2022. It was a very cute little initiative, but it was very limited at that time. However, like they always say, 1,000 miles start with a single step. And this was actually the spark from which the Innovator of the Future program started in 2021.
In 2021, when the restriction of the COVID was lifted, we wanted to host the Innovators of the Future into our port premises. However, we wanted to elevate the experience in 2022. Therefore, we collaborated with Abu Dhabi Educational Council to invite the government schools joining with the children of our employees. Therefore, we joined them and we create an exceptional program for them to increase our social footprint. Our objective from that program was to motivate and empower youth, have a positive impact on the community, and lastly, promote AD Ports Group as an employment of choice. Allow us please to show you a small video of the Innovators of the Future program that was hosted in 2022.
Hope you have enjoyed the video. Now it's running again if you would like it. Okay, so as you have seen, the program initially mainly focused on site visits, having some presentations, some activities that the student will be engaged in. But let us in here highlight some of the main features that we were having throughout the 3 years. So in 2021, one of the major highlights of the program was inviting the students to Makerspace. Makerspace is a workshop where the students were introduced to many manufacturing techniques, including 3D printers, laser cutters, some soldering techniques where they were taught how to solder wires, and also several other assembling techniques. And this, actually, it was a week-long program for them inside this University of the Future program. The students worked in a group to create small prototype that they would have to present through the end of the week. In 2022, things were a bit different. We didn't start in the first day. Actually, we start 1 day ahead of the program. So the program was 1 week. It was shorter than in 2021, but we didn't start from day one. We started from what we call day zero. We didn't find the students to the premise of Abu Dhabi Course Group at that day. We invited them to the metaverse, to a virtual world that has been created for them, where they could engage, get to know each other. And actually, we had the induction of the company in there. So before they come to the company, they were aware of what they will be doing throughout the week. What is the company? Because many of us just think of, many people think of us as just a ports group company. They are yet to know that we are a ports group company. We are having the full supply chain, as we have mentioned earlier. So this was an eye-opener for the student. And it was actually very entertaining for the student because they are used to video games and they are aware that video games are just for fun. In this case, they were taught that they can always leverage what they have into something in their day-to-day operation, to their day-to-day life. So in here, what looked like a video game was actually a professional and social application that they dealt with. Also in the same year, in 2022, we invited the youngest inventor in the UAE, Adib Bidoushi, and he gave a talk about his inventions, the patents he has filed, and the research work he's working on. And this was quite motivating, if I would say it. It's always easy to get someone with dozens of years of experience, having several patents, having hundreds of research work, and he would be presenting, and he is 60, 70, 80 years old, you know? But that's not very touching for the students. The student would simply say, oh, tomorrow when I will be in his age, I will do something like him. But in this case, when we got the youngest inventor who was their age, they no longer has any excuse. They cannot say, I don't have enough knowledge. I don't have enough teaching. I'm not old enough. All of this broke down. They realized that if they didn't accomplish something by this age, it was because they are slacking off, because they are procrastinating. Last but not least, this year, in 2023, in this year program, we were revolving, the whole program was revolving around the hackathon. So from the first day the students came, they were told that you will not be sitting anytime soon. This program, you will be working from the first day till you pitch your idea in the very last day. And this actually lighted something inside them. Every site visit they go, they know that they should be looking around. They're not allowed just to be an audience and take a back seat, because everything they do, they would be asked in the presentation during the pitching. So they had to take an idea, refine it from the beginning, and then pitch it. And when they pitched it, they had a jury, which consisted of a senior VP, a data scientist from the Abu Dhabi Maritime Academy, which is actually a subsidiary of us, and the first winner of the hackathon that AD Course Group held in 2022. So they had such an esteemed jury to comment on their work. And also they had their parents attending the presentation. That has placed a lot of stress on them. But actually the parents enjoyed it to the most when they see that throughout the summer in 1 week, what their students were able to accomplish.
Let's break the rhythm a little bit and share with us our experience designing the Innovators of the Future summer program. Speaking about myself and about the group, designing the program was very fun task. In fact, it was one of our first tasks Umar and I had, especially after joining AD Ports. Putting ourselves in the position of the people, of the students, to know how it will feel to have this program was a very, I would say, the highlight of our designing the Innovators of the Future program. Ironically, I was about to educate the students about airports, knowing little bit about, therefore, us collaborating with the clusters, and especially me collaborating with the clusters, had helped me widen my network and helped me in my everyday tasks and basis. Also, one of the things that we had so much fun with is interacting with the students. Having a small age gap with them give us more comfortable and more opportunity to know about their personality, and I was impressed by their creativity and the way of them perspective things and sharing, especially when they came up with an ideas and presenting them in the hackathon this year in only 2 days. Our program has touched different aspects, especially family, society, academic, and skills. And the family and society, it touched it in a way that we gathered the family in the COVID, and we gave them an initiative to gather the family and they can have fun with, especially in the hard times in COVID. Not only that, but we also invited them in 2021 and 2022 to see what their family working with and how are they contributing to the COVID and how they contributing to the society and the community was amazing, to be honest. And also in the part of the society and a part of the CSR, one of our alumni in the BAT 1, which the student was Hadza, has contributed this year in 2023 as an organizer, not as a part of the program. As for the academic aspect, we have given them the opportunity to be exposed to different fields of like the corporate life, especially in the ports and the digital and the logistics, which can help them to shape their future and their career and the future. As for the skills, we have enhanced the communication skills in their life, and teamwork skills, and also voluntary skills. At last, allowed me to share some feedback that we have received from students and parents, especially from the parents, because I feel it's very touching. Our colleagues mentioned that he came home and we had some really fruitful conversation about the work AD Ports Group is doing and about my role in it, something I would never have expected. How exciting is that I had a 30 minutes discussion about autonomous vehicle and Khalifa Port with my child. Having a satisfaction rate in 2022 as a 95%, and then it's elevated in 2023 as a 100%, I think that's an amazing success to us.
Okay, so of course, this is a CSR project, and we really have to consider the SDGs that we are contributing to. The first one, like I was mentioning earlier, is the quality education. In this program, we were having some specialists who were having 20, 30 years experience in the field, giving presentations, giving talks, taking the students around the site. So it was something quite deep in what they are doing and the variety of the things they were learning about. It was quite informative for them and insightful for them for their future life when they start the university. The second one is number 5, which is the gender equality. We always try to have equal number of male to female in our program. And this is in line with the UAE vision of empowering women. But this was having some challenges in some parts because it's quite easy to ask ADIC, Abu Dhabi Educational Council, to give us 7 male students, 7 or equal number of male to female students. But when it comes to the children of our employees, things get a bit tricky because of the difference in the number of applicants. So not, the ratio of male to female is not going to be constant every year, and the number of applicants is not something we can really control. But we tried our best to make sure that we are having equal number of male to females. The last point is number 17, which is the partnerships for the goal. In this event, we were having many partners, internal and external, and all of them had a single plan in this program to educate students, to give something that can help them in their future, next year in their university, few years ahead in their career. And also, we partnered with this group, if anyone is aware of it. So this is a group that creates some mini events for and actually part of their income is something that they donate to special needs students, special needs children. Okay, what were the recipes that made this program succeed? How did we raise the bar from 95 satisfaction to 100%? Should we say that it was luck? Well, maybe, but let us just take some of the key features that we tried. First of all, it's not something we did, it's actually something we were blessed with. It's the management support. In some cases, the manager would just micromanage everything. In fact, you would just be nothing more than a tool in the hand of the manager. He's literally doing everything and you are just typing, applying. There is no need actually for the brain of the employee in that sense. We didn't have this. But in the extreme other end, we have managers who just throw the employees in the desert and asking them to find an oasis. That's not the way to do work. We were blessed with the management who were quite supportive. They give us the guidelines. They give us a high-level plan. Today, guys, we need to have a program that would support students. We need them to be engaged. We need this. And we would have termed meetings every 2 weeks, every special amount of time. But there was no sort of micromanagement. We, the group of 3 members, junior members, were managing the project from its A to Z. And we were only having the guidelines from the management. And that was quite supportive. Second thing is the event simulation. This is something that was quite supportive for us, quite helpful, and it really made the program go quite smooth. How we do it is that we look at the event, it's a 5-day event, and we start from the first day when we are admitting students to the last day where we are giving the certificates to them. What could go wrong? How, when, and why? And we try to have some backup plans. If such thing happened, what could we do? And this really made things go way easier. In fact, the number of problems that occurred was way smaller than the number of problems that we were expecting. Third, something very important, something I really like, something I believe that all of us are doing in our daily life, not only in our professional life. But in many cases, we actually don't really implement it. In many cases, we just ignore it. Something we do, we document, but we just forget about when the real time comes. It's lessons there. In 2022, when we started, we looked at what was done in 2021. In 2023, when we wanted to start, we looked at 2022. We cannot create a new start a new project without looking at our previous results. We need to know what went right and what was lacking so that we can emphasize on the good things, make it better, and we can modify the things that were lacking, what the students didn't enjoy. Just an example. In both 2021 and 2022, we heard the same comment. Presentations are boring. But it's not something we can deal with, right? We need to give the students some information. We cannot just tell them, guys, today we'll be playing from the morning till the evening. If that's the case, then maybe we can just send them to a gym, right? So what did we do in 2023? We tried to limit the number of presentations. We almost eliminated them. And we embed any of the information that we want to convey to the students, either through site visits or through informal speech. This was quite a burden on us. We had to talk almost to each and every group individually to convey the same message. But this time it was in a form of a discussion. When we are talking to an audience that's as big as this one, many of the part would be skipped. You will not really have the opportunity to ask all the questions you want. But when we are talking about a focused group, things get much easier. And this was quite supportive in this program. Last but not least is the cooperation. I suppose this is the third or fourth time we are mentioning the same word, but in a different synonym, I would say, throughout the presentation. But it really emphasized on how important it is to work in a group. As they used to say in our proverbs, a single hand cannot clap. And that's the case in here. I just cannot recall the number of parties I used to communicate, or the team in general used to communicate. We used to talk to the catering, to the marketing and communication teams. We used to communicate with the different clusters because they were the one holding the site visits, talking to our managers, external, just too many. But without any of these, if you remove anyone from the link, things collapse. And that's why we all need to put our hands together to take this one forward. How about we look at the program that we had in 2023, so that maybe you can compare it with the one we had earlier in 2022. hope you have enjoyed it. Okay. What's next? That's a very difficult question. It's a question that we always try to run away from when our management asks it to us. They tell us, what's next? It's like, guys, we already scored 100%. So if you score now 99, then the management would come at us, oh, you're not doing well. Last year you did better, right? So it's a very difficult question for us to answer right now. We're still in the early planning phase. As you have noticed, each and every year, we are trying to incorporate the trends that is running around the world to incorporate into our program. We are always trying to add value to the students that are coming to us. If maybe 20 years earlier, I gave a presentation about Excel, people will be like, oh, this is such a fantastic tool. But today, if I give them a presentation about Excel, they'll be like, so what? It's something we have been using for many years by now, right? So we always try to take it a step forward. We don't want to do something repetitive. Yes, the students are new, but they already know about what's happening in the world. So that's why we are always trying to incorporate new elements into each and every year program to add more insight for them, to help them in their future life when they enter the university, to give them some tools that they can really use rather than just some fancy things, finishing the program, getting our salary at the end of the day and getting back to sleep. So our management is always pushing us to get out of our comfort zone, come up with something good, and hopefully even this next year we'll be able to do something on the same level. Thank you. If you have any questions, please go ahead. We are available anytime you wish.
So that was an amazing presentation, you two, and you should be truly proud of what you achieved and 100% satisfaction rating. Well, as you say, you cannot get any better than that. So really well done. So does anyone have any questions for the guys here for Omar and Lilua? You can either pop them into the chat function or by all means raise your hands. So while you're, oh, we've got claps definitely going on there. So congratulations. So I've got a question. So you use the metaverse, and I know that that's something that Abu Dhabi Ports Group has used during the Innovation Month as well. So you said it was very much aligned to how the students kind of use computer games too. So how did you use the metaverse with the group of students?
Okay, so maybe I can answer this question, Lidwa? Okay, so for us, the metaverse was really, we have a problem each and every year to include the safety induction through the program. The program is very condensed, and it's very difficult to put some aspects that we have to do. It's mandatory for us, but it's really not fitting in the place, and it would be a bit breaking the rhythm of the program. So the metaverse was a great way to get the students inside without disturbing the rhythm, because we're not getting them one day ahead. It's just opening your computer, getting into the virtual world, and that's it, you're around. So it's making the logistics much easier for us. We're able to give them content that is important, that they might typically sleep when they are attending, but this time in a more gamified way.
Yeah.
So they had some posters looking around the company profile, seeing what we are doing. Actually, the senior VP of the innovation division gave a award in the metaverse for the students. And we also had, in the same time, the safety induction. Okay. So whenever we're going to the ports, whenever we're going to any of the premise of our company, there are some requirements, and safety induction is part of it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And clearly, this is a huge benefit to the students and their families. How do you think it also benefits AD Ports Group?
Oh, great. So maybe you would like to answer that one.
I can add to your comments if you wish.
Okay. So for us, it's a great thing to do, typically speaking, in the region. Like, I'll speak about myself. I know Abu Dhabi Airports, I know ADNOC, and I know many companies. But honestly speaking, AD Ports Group was never part of the company I ever looked at. It's not something visible. That's the problem of ports. Typically, they're not visible. They are just back in the background doing all the hard work. They are just, their work is so difficult, but no one recognizes it. It's so difficult to bring them to the highlights. Unlike the airport where you are traveling every year or two, unlike ADNOC where you hear it all over the place, the country of the oil, these are things that everyone knows about. But for us this way, like Lulu mentioned earlier, we are showing AD Group as an employer of choice. When they come see it, see the different aspects, look around, they will be like, this is great. This is what I want, where I want to work.
Okay.
So from one side is talent acquisition. From other sides, they are bringing ideas to the company. So during the hackathon, we asked the students to submit their ideas that they pitched in the presentation into our ideation portal.
Great. Great. And any additional comments?
Well, for the family aspect that you have highlighted in the beginning, speaking about myself, I was always curious about what my friends are doing in work. So having given them the opportunity to know what they're actually doing and how are they doing it and how are they contributing to the community. That's
Brilliant, because this was open to families of your employees as well, isn't it? The children of your employees. So super. So Helen, I can't actually see the chat, but I don't know if we've got any questions in there or comments that you can read out. I'm seeing a shake of head. So are there any final questions or comments before we close this session down?
I just had one question, if that's okay, Zena.
Do Emma?
Yeah, I just wondered whether, anything that you didn't work quite as well as expected, and what did you learn from that? Or was there a big success that you didn't expect from something?
Good question.
Maybe you would like?
okay. So yes, there actually one thing that we planned for that didn't work well. We had some cool place here in AD course called the Dome, and we wanted to show it to the students. However, we had a very unexpected visit last minute. So we had to cancel that. However, luckily that we have not only plan A, we have plan A, B, C, and Z. So we were fine with that. Amar, do you want to add any comment?
Yeah, dealing with the students is always a challenge. Myself, I was working in actually Abu Dhabi University for 3.5 years as a teaching assistant. And each and every semester is a new challenge. They always come up with new things, new comments, Like once I recall, we were in the economic cities, we are having many industries that we are leasing the land to. So once they were in Sadia. Sadia is the well-known chicken producer, if you're aware of it. So while they were in the visit of Sadia, actually, they were showing them how chicken nuggets is being prepared. And the students at that time, they were like, can we have something to eat? So it's always a challenge when you do it. But if you would like to know about what we learned, then I could tell you that we learned about the company, what other employees would take 5 to 6 years to learn, because we had to educate students about the company. So to educate someone, let's say, if I want to teach someone from a high school, I need a bachelor degree. To teach someone in bachelor degree, I need a PhD degree. Now we are teaching students about the company. So we need to be experts about it. We need to know how to answer to them. So that really increased our learning curve in an intense way.
Thank you both. And it does sound like you had a pretty good day-by-day risk analysis going on to identify any potential pain points and, like you say, have a plan, not just an A, B, but all the way down to Z to mitigate for any potential issues, which clearly definitely contributed to your 100% satisfaction.
I would say that's the benefit of working in a team. So for instance, today I would say, we just covered everything. Then Lulu would come and say, no, let's just do a quick revision again for the program. Then she would say, it's all good now. Salma would say, you know what? Let's just give a quick revision. What if this happens? So when you are in a team, when someone is working alone, he would think that he just covered all the aspects. But when you're in a team, people just show that, no, you're still missing here and there.
Yeah, and I love the phrase that I will steal, which was a single hand cannot clap. That emphasis on teamwork, collaboration, working together to give the students the best possible experience, I think is key. So with that, we will bring the session to a close. Thank you very much to the two of you who have done an amazing job sharing your experiences, and congratulations on continuing to develop this programme now in its 3rd year, and it sounds like it will certainly be going next year as well. So it's so important to kind of educate and support our future leaders in innovation. So thank you, and thank you to everyone for joining us too. I think this was the most well-attended session we've had, with over 90 on the line. So it certainly gave Helen an admin challenge, which we are very delighted about. So thank you to you all. Have a great day. And thank you again to AD Ports Group.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Helen, if you could stop record, that would be